All right, guys. Today we got a special guest in the house. I mean, this man is a legend and comes from music royalty, five-time Grammy Award-winning producer. I'm talking about the one and only Focus.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing today?
I'm blessed, man. I'm good. Thank you
Man,
for being patient with me, man. We were having camera issues. It's crazy.
man, I'm just so grateful to have you here. I know you don't do interviews that often, so I feel blessed to get any of your time.
I
With
appreciate
my
it.
interviews, I like to cover things in chronological order so people can really know where you came from, who you are, and how you got to where you are today.
Okay.
So you're originally from New York, right?
Yes, sir. This hat, literally, I got it at a store, and when I saw it, I fell in love with it because that's literally my life. Like I'm from New York, and I ended up in LA. So yeah,
Which part of New York?
I was born in Manhattan. We've lived as my family. We lived from Brooklyn all the way over to Stamford, Connecticut. So, it was Brooklyn, Bronx, a little stint in Jersey, uh, Fort Lee, New Jersey, and then Stamford, Connecticut is where I did most of my growing up.
So until what age until you moved to New Jersey?
That's a good question. I was in first, first going into second grade. So I had to be like, 6, 7 around there.
Right. And then how long
Yeah.
in New Jersey before you moved to Stanford?
When we moved to Stamford, Connecticut, I was 8 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So we were only there for a couple of years.
Got you. Okay. And then your father, he co-founded the legendary group Chic, right? And he's been considered like one of the greatest bass players of all time.
Yeah, yeah. That's him and his partner Nile Rodgers. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. So your father was originally from North Carolina, but he grew up
Yes.
in Brooklyn.
Greenville. Yeah. And he grew up in the Bronx, and that's where he met my mom.
So what your mom is from Brooklyn?
My mom, yeah. My mom is from New York, and my grandmother used to live in Brooklyn. My aunt still lives in Brooklyn. It's crazy. So yeah, that's really where my family is.
That's dope. What did your mom do for work?
My mother was a stay-at-home mother as long as I knew. Prior to that, when she
She
when
was
she
dealing
met
with
my
all you
father,
guys, so that
yeah,
was a full-time
exactly.
job in itself.
Yes, there was 6 of us, and then my cousin used to live with us as well. So she was, rearing 7 kids. But when she met my father, I believe she was a waitress in the nightclub that he used to play in. I believe that's the story.
Wow, so you grew up with five siblings and a cousin in the household.
Yeah, yeah, I was the oldest.
What was that like with so many people in the house at one time?
It was creative. I'm sure for my mother, it was chaotic. My family back then, my mother was the nucleus of our family, and it was very easy to try to pigeonhole us as the normal family that doesn't like being around each other, but we loved being around each other. We're very affectionate, and my mother just, we were a very close knit family. So there's some of my best friends when I was younger were my brothers and sisters and my cousins. So
Hmm. And then what age did you start showing interest in music because like you were surrounded by so much of it at an early age?
interest in it. I hate saying it because I think a lot of pop singers and R&B singers want to talk about when they were 4, but I actually do have memories of when I was 3 and 4, and I was very intrigued with my father's 45 collection. One of the first things my grandfather built me was my own little uh, record player. He just put a wooden spindle on a metal box, and I used to be able to spin 45s on it, but it never made no noise. But I was just, that was my favorite toy. But when I was 6 years old, I started kind of tinkering with music, and when I was eight, like around six, seven, eight, that's when I wrote my first song, and it was a piece. It was horrible. I still remember it to this day, but I
Can you
knew
sing it
that
for us?
nope, but no, but
But was it like
it
R&B or what kind of style, kind of
no,
genre?
it was literally I was using the C major chords, and I was just super happy that I could play these chords in a progression and sing at the same time. And my song was called "Everybody Loves Me." I was 6 or 7 years old, and I just wrote this song, and my mother and my aunts, and they would always want me to sing it because I would just sing it with all the passion, and my brothers and sisters would join in and all that. But then when I got to 8 years old, I knew I wanted to be like my father. I wanted to be a producer. So,
Mm.
everything kind of, I wanted to be a little bit more serious about it.
What was the first instrument that you learned how to play?
The first instrument that was put in front of me was drums. I wanted to be like Tony Thompson. Of course, you're going to want to be like the things that you know. And Tony was, a hero of mine. And the first kit that I got was from Tony. It was a chrome Yamaha kit. Um, he gave me the floor tom and two toms, kick, snare, hat, and two cymbals. And I was in love. Like that was the first thing that I had in my house. And then that was what I played in school. Throughout school, I played the drums for the middle, upper, and lower school bands.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, because you knew that you wanted to do music at such a young age, were you really into being a student at all, or your focus was just all on music?
Yeah, it was bad. I really was one track minded, and I knew I could do the work. My mother used to, she would express her disappointment in the fact that I would just kind of let this stuff lag off because my first semester I would, pull in A's and it would be easy. It was easy work, but then I would just really want to do music, and I didn't care about sports. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to do music, and that happened literally until I graduated.